coming up. Just give me 1 second.
Could I borrow your earpieces, your AirPods?
Of course. Thanks.
Well,
Yeah. Looks like the Zoom application froze. It is waiting to do something. That was our session details. Okay. So what I was showing you, can you still hear me? Can you all? My system went to a frozen state for a little bit.
yes,
Can
I
you
can.
guys? Okay, perfect. So yeah, what I was sharing a little earlier that we did some of the initial sessions, and just to give you an idea where we'll be typing our code. So I'm going to briefly go over one of the sessions slide that we did, and just to give you an idea, uh, just to give you a recap. So we installed Python from python.org. This is a website where you can go and download. And when we started doing these versions are, updating all the time, but version 3.12.6 was available at that time that when we updated, and then we installed, and you can take a screenshot and these are available on session 1 as well, where I have actually demonstrated how you can actually install the on your machine or laptop. So if you just rewatch those videos, you'll know. The only reason I'm showing this because today we plan to just directly dive into our coding section because it's a lot. Typically, I go over all the recaps and see what we have done and this and that. So we need to install Python. We need to install Visual Studio Code from this website. Then we need to install Python.extension. And then, the first session will also show how to just write a simple program. So what you see today, if you don't understand where I'm typing and how I'm typing, so you just need to watch the session 1 again, and I'll share the video. All right. Okay, so today's session is exciting one for me at least. I'm sure whoever who loves to program and who loves to do game programming will also feel excited about it because we will be doing our first game session today. So the game that I chose, which is one of the very basics game, and that I'm not sure if you guys know or have played this game. The object of this game is to create like a snake type body that moves around the screen, and your goal is to avoid getting it hit from the boundaries of the game, or like the window, and you have to eat a fruit. And as soon as you eat that fruit, the snake grows and keep on growing and that's the difficulty level that keep on increasing, that snakes getting growing, and you need to avoid hitting the boundaries of the windows and the snake body itself. Okay, so the first thing I will be doing today is, as always, So this is our Visual Studio Code environment, Elliot. Again, if you need to see how I got here, you need to watch this session 1. And I am in Visual Studio Code. Here I created a new file, just like new text file. And after that, I'm going to select my language here, which is Python. And I'm going to save that. So I have saved it on my disk so I don't lose it, just in case my system crashes or something happens. So this is Python. This is how we have been naming Python session 7, which is snake snake game using Pygame. And I will tell you what Pygame is. Okay. So for other folks, let's put some comment here. Before it starts, it's always good to put comment. Just to decorate our game, it looks a little good at the top. That's what we are doing. Okay. This is our Devincikode. And today is November 3rd, 2024. Oh, I went too much in future. And this is Nick game using Pygame. Okay, what is Pygame? I will tell you in a bit. Okay. So what is Pygame? So we covered Pygame in our session 4, if you guys remember. Pygame is one of those libraries inside Python, which enables all the programmers to do the hard work for you. So you just tell it to do something and it will just do it for you. You don't have to worry about a lot of inside details. So Pygame is one of those libraries that is designed for making games. So imagine when you play a game, how many things you have to do. You have to draw the graphics, you have to move the graphics, where one could be a player, one could be an enemy. Then you have to make sure you move around your player. The enemies could be moving around randomly. Then you have to put in some logic that something happens. For example, you hit a fire button, then it hits the enemy, something happens. So you have to define the winning condition, you have to define the losing condition, and based on that, you have to do something. For example, score. You put like some sort of score. So today's game is Snake, and always, and some of you guys in this session are from my Scratch session where we did the uh, game towards the end. The basic thing we do our objective of the game, and then we define what are the characters, like or subjects, or and then we also define what will be the uh, gameplay, like what will define the gameplay. So all these things will need to be defined first. Okay?
Okay.
And since it's pretty straightforward, the objective is to create Snake game in Python using Pygame library, characters, snake, and then objects. Then you have to define objects too. Fruit, environment, window, bound, window controlled space and gameplay. What is the gameplay? And I'm doing very basic, so just to save time, you can put it as much details, and the more details you put, it will become easier. If snakes can be moved using arrow keys, left, right, up, and down. Objective is to eat the fruit without hitting the boundaries and itself. Okay, this is our basic objective of the game. The first thing first, whenever you are doing any library inside Python, you need to install it. I have already showed this in session number 4, how to install Python libraries, especially Pygame. But in case you missed it, you go in command prompt here, just right click, run it, administrator. This will pop up this screen, and the command you need to type is pip space install pygame. Oh, pygame. Okay. And in my environment, I already installed, so it will give me, hey, it's already exists. So for me, it did not install because it's already installed. But if it's not installed, it will make sure that this library is installed before we can start using it inside our code. Okay. So now since we have installed it, the step number 1 for our game is once we have everything installed, we need to make sure that all the libraries or required things need to be imported to our program. And Elliot, just don't worry if something is going not very clear. It's because we have covered this in our previous sessions, and you can ask me after the session or separately. I'll be glad to go over, or alternatively, you can rewatch the sessions. So step number 1 is import the necessary library. Okay. So that will include our first library is import Pygame, which is the first and foremost because that's the one that we need to use for our game. Other than that, we will be using import time. That's another library that's already installed. I did not have to install it. Then import random. And this library we use in our random number memory game, if you recall. Okay. And then we need to define some variables. So we will be doing this now. Let's say we imported libraries. Now we need to define, let's say, some of the variables define with, and all these commenting I am doing, so you know what I am doing or you are doing. Basically, this is a good habit. But like I mentioned before, what happens is you type the code, you know what you're doing, but after a couple of weeks or maybe a month, you come back and you don't understand what you did. So it's always good to put comments. And these are comments that means this will not be read by the compiler and it will not be read as a code. It will read as just something you put in there to remember what you did. So define width and height of the window in which the game will be played. Okay. And then we need to define the color in red, green, and blue, which is also called RGB. You guys know about these colors? What are these red, green, blues? Any comments? RGB colors? Elliot, art class, no?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yes, this primary colors?
Yeah, primary colors are red, yellow, blue, but green's in
Red,
the
green. Okay.
functional.
So with these colors, combination of these colors, you can create many colors. Okay? So when you do colors in computers, so you have that, and again, we have covered before that everything computers is based on numbers, and so red has a number, green has a number, blue has a number. So by controlling these numbers, you can come up with different colors. Okay, format that we are going to use in our game for displaying text, for example. Okay, so we did this, and now we will do, for example, the variable of window size is, and also define a variable for controlling the speed of the snake. Okay, so snake, I'm defining the variable now. Oh, speed equal 15. And it will all make sense once we do all this. And the size. Do you guys know already that there's a horizontal when you talk about window, or even in your laptop, or when you see at mobile screen? So there's horizontal screen and there's vertical screen. So when you talk about horizontal, mathematically we describe as, you can describe it as or as any letter, but typically we use represent that as x axis or x, simply the the letter x. And vertical space of the screen we typically represent with the letter y. So when we are defining window size, we have to tell how long should be horizontally and how tall it should be vertically. So it should be window size underscore x, that is horizontal size, 720. And you can put that comment, horizontal. And then window underscore y equal 480. Oh, and you can say vertical size. Making sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're defining the color. See, all we are doing is right now defining our variables, preparing our program to use these variables in our game. I mentioned here in computers, colors, you just can, right now you are programming. So you remember you are telling the computer about colors. Computer doesn't understand red. Okay? Computer doesn't understand blue. You tell what red is. Red could be some number. Blue could be some number. Okay? So in general, if I tell you the red has the number of, so let me give you example. So RGB in computer language, and you'll study more and more. So the RGB is red, green, blue in this combination. So if you is any number between 0 to 255. Okay? 0 to 255. 0 to 255. So that means if you want to control, do you recall when you see a palette somewhere inside software where you can control like what color you need and you can just drag down a slider and the color just changes. So basically you're controlling red like between 0 to 255. If you put values, any value from 0 to 255, it will be a shade of red. If you put any value on the second location between 0 to 255, it will be a shade of green. And same with the shade of blue. So if you put this combination, you'll end up with a single color, just like you would mix up different colors. Making sense? So if I want to make a red color, all I have to do is just put red and the both other values should be 0. That's how it will become red. Because no blue, no green. If I need to make it blue, then the red should be 0, or and this should be green should be 0. So that's how you make combination. If I put all of them as 255, what value it will become? Any idea?
It'll just become white.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Yes, it will become white. So now we are defining colors here. So black is a variable that I use, and we are using our Pygame library, which is color and 0. And same with if white is 255, 255, and 255, black would be 0, 0, 0. White equal Pygame dot color 255, 255, 255. We just saw that. Okay. Same way we can keep on doing. Red Pygame dot color is 255, 0. And green. Can anyone tell me what the green will be? I can't follow. R green is, oh, it should be R is 0 and 255 and 0. And this is blue. It should be 0, 0, 255. And this is giving me an error because I put an extra. Okay. So we are done with our step 1. Now let's move to our step 2. And all these commenting, again, I'm doing it so we know what we are doing. And remember, always keep on saving your work so you don't lose it. It happened to me many times that I did something and then something happened and I lost my work. Okay, step 2, initialize the Pygame library. And when you do initialize means there are a lot of variables that needs to be set inside this library. So that happens automatically. So you don't have to worry about it, but you still have to do it. So step 2 is initialize Pygame library. What else? And then what else we need to do is we have to create a game window using width and height defined in the previous step. remember we defined this window here. And also we will do here pygame.time.clock will be used further in the main logic of the game to change the speed of the snake. Okay, so this will be our step 2. So how you do the pygame dot init. That's first step. Now we have to do initializing the game window, and here you see pygame dot display dot set underscore caption. See, these are different options that pygame library provides to you. See, it's so easy. You don't have to. If I could tell you how difficult it was to just to create a window that you see in a lot of apps, it was like if I remember when I was studying in university, it was like a big book, and out of that book, like 3, 4 pages just to create a window. And here you just see, hey, create a window and put this caption. And on the top, we'll say the title, session number 7, snake game demonstration. You can put anything, demonstration. Demonstrate. Okay. And game window underscore, that's another variable that we are creating. Hi game dot display dot set mode. These are the pre-cooked things that I was telling you. So here, this is a function that needs some values. We already defined this value here. You can put the values directly here, but we already defined that I want horizontal size of the window as Windows X and vertical size as window Y.
Yeah. Come on.
And then we can try frames per second or FPS. This is the speed controller, which will be FPS equal pygame dot time. And some of the things, if you don't understand, just for now, just start using it, and you will start understanding with time. So far, we have defined some of the variables, and we have initialized our pygame library. We installed the library, and we initialize our window. Let's see if something happens or not. We run the code. Is it doing anything? Okay, it's giving me some error. Display set mode Windows X and Y. Okay, some error. What's the error? I don't know. What's the error? So we have to see what the error is coming. We'll figure this out. Windows X 720. Did I mistype anything? And it is important to keep on, looking if you type something wrong. A small character or lowercase character versus uppercase character sometimes means different meaning. Set mode, set underscore mode underscore. Okay. So, I think this is the issue, I think. Let's try it again. Hey, oh, it stopped. It came and then went back. So, but it did come for a little bit. At least something happening is not error. So let's keep on going. You have very less time left. Okay, so now we created our window where we have to play the game. So step 3 is initialize snake position and its size. So a snake on the window appears randomly, any position, and initially it's very small. So we can put that like after initializing snake position, initialize. Oh, that's my apologies. That was the fruit position that was random. Snake could be start from the middle, but the fruit is like randomly placed anywhere in the window. Define height and width by setting direction to right. We ensure that whenever a user runs the program, okay, the snake must move right to the screen. And so when after the session, when we I copy paste this code to the group chat, and at that time you will read these comments and you will understand what I am doing in each line. So then you realize how important it is to put these comments. Okay. So first, defining the snake position or default position. So I'm creating a variable that will hold the snake default position, underscore position equal. And this is a type of variable which we have not covered, but it's like you can say a list. We have covered list. Yeah, we have covered. But this is holding the coordinates. And what are coordinates? Where on the X location, where horizontally, and where on the Y position or vertically. So Elliot, we covered this data structures in one of our sessions, session number 6, where we covered these, like what's the difference between lists and tuple, dictionary. So this is one of the data structures that we are using here for storing these coordinates. Defining first 4 blocks of snake. Okay, body. Now snake body underscore body. To define a snake body, we are using instead of drawing. Remember we discussed something like we are here to do programming, not just coding. So instead of like if I ask you to print your name 10 times, the one way of coding is to just print the command 10 times. And the other way is to ask computer, hey, print my name 10 times. Even though both are programming, both are coding, but typing your name 10 times using code is not programming. Programming is something that you're asking computer to do rather than doing yourself. So same way, here we are drawing computer body in a smart way by defining some coordinates and then asking computer to draw the body rather than we draw everything ourselves. So don't worry if it doesn't make sense right now. Some of the things will make sense when you practice. Remember to practice. The more you practice, the more you get better and better at it. You might get more confusion too, but that's why I'm here to so you ask questions. But without practice, one thing is for sure that you will not understand. With practice, there is a chance that you will understand. Okay? So if this particular area doesn't make sense, don't worry, just for now, just consider it that I am storing a nested kind of list that storing some of the initial coordinate and that we will use this to generate the body of the snake smartly rather than just drawing it with hand. Fruit position. And I mentioned fruit position should be random. So we'll ask the computer to draw the fruit position, some random position. What it says, fruit position equal random. To do something random in Python, this is the way we do it. Okay, random dot random range 1 comma, and we have to provide the random range. So random means like any number in range. For example, we use the random number in our memory game that I posted the other session. That random number was between, if I recall, that random number was between 1 till 100 or 1 till 10, I don't recall, or maybe 1 to 50. So that means any number, pick any number from between 1 and 50 or 1 and 100. But here what I'm saying, pick any number between 1 and I don't know what the Windows bit would be. So I say pick any number between 1 and Windows horizontal because we are talking about the fruit to be drawn randomly on the windows horizontally and vertically. So we need to pick a random position horizontally and vertically. So I'm picking a random position range from 1 till between 1 and Windows X position. And notice what I'm doing here. Divided by 10. And I have to make sure that this position is calculated for both, not just for X, because no, we have to consider what? The Y side as well. Okay, so you will understand once we are through with this. 1 comma window underscore Y. Anyone remember what this 2 divide sign means? If anyone remember the operators session? So just put this way. So if you're dividing some of the position of window, the division could be, let's say, in decimal. So this operator makes sure that you only pick the non-decimal value. Like if it's 10.5, it will pick 10. Okay? It will ignore the 0.5 value So this is the absolute operator that we covered during our operator session. So it's just re-emphasizing it is very important to revisit all the sessions that we covered in practice. Now we are actually using what we have learned. Okay, this is covered and our fruit position is in setting the default snake direction towards right. Creating a variable of name direction equal to right. And it's a string variable and change underscore another variable direction. And so this is changed to, and I am assigning this direction variable, whatever the variable. So right now the default value is right. Whenever a game will start, the snake will start moving to the right. You know, the best practice you guys can do is that once we complete this game, you start making changes and see what happens. So you will understand that what each part of the game is doing. Okay. Now we are in our step 4. Create a function. Function we covered in our session 4 to display the score of the player. Okay. Okay, we can go directly to the code. We can add these comments later. So because I know we're running out of time here. So let's say I will add these comments before sending to you. So we create a score here, score equals 0. Initially the score is 0. And then we're creating a function displaying score function. This function will, as wherever you call it, it will display the score. To create a function, you have to use the define keyword and show score. This is again session number 4. You can rewatch how to create a function, choice, and these are the parameters that I need to pass. Rewatch the session. If you have any question, I can go over that again. Object score underscore font. We created a calculator, if you recall, and we created add function, subtract function, multiplication function. So you can review that so you will remember how we create function. Okay, score underscore font equal pygame dot font dot sys font. See, a lot of things I'm just using from Pygame. I don't have to worry about a lot of things. Just imagine uh if I wasn't using Pygame, I would need to do a lot of things uh from scratch. Like that would be a tough call. So I'm just asking, hey Pygame, I just need to set the font and this, and I say, okay. It's like frozen food. You just put in the microwave, you just set the timer, and it has instruction, put this microwave, set it to 2 minutes, and the food is ready to eat. You don't have to, if you make if you're creating a frozen pizza, just put in the microwave and it's ready. Other than if you have to bring the flour and just make a dough and then put all the ingredients and then put in the oven. So Pygame is just like a frozen pizza. Okay, so create the display surface object score underscore surf. Oh, score underscore surface equals score underscore font. So this is score underscore font. That's why. Sometimes I type incorrectly, so that's why it was giving error. Oh, now it did not completely copy. That's why it was giving error. It should match the variable that I created. Score underscore font dot render. If you ask me what I'm doing, I'm also kind of reading the instruction from behind the frozen pizza box and just doing as it says. So I'm using Pygame instruction. Hey, this is how you need to define surface. This is how you need to define before like inputting to microwave or even you make popcorn. You say, hey, take out of the packet, put in upside down inside the microwave, maybe poke from here and turn on the microwave. This is what I'm doing. So I read the instruction and I'm just following it. Okay. But you need to know Python enough that when you are using it, so you know that what actually you are doing it. Same way with cooking or any other thing that you need to know enough that even when you're following some instruction, you know how to use microwave, for example. Okay, pizza box will say, hey, use a microwave. And you say, what microwave? How? So that's why we were using this whole Python session. So we know when the Pygame started to say this, do this in Python, do that in Python. So we at least know how to use Python. For the text surface object. Okay. Score underscore rect, which variable that we created. Did we create or we are creating one? Score underscore surface get underscore rect. So this whole section basically I am doing as instructed by Pygame. Let's score underscore surface comma score underscore rect. Okay. Created a function here. Now step 5 is create a game over function. Now we have to create a game over function that will represent the score after the snake is hit by a wall or itself. Okay. Now we're creating another function. And you already know why we create functions. So we type the code once and we just call it again and again and again. It's like reusable thing. Okay. Okay, so define game underscore over. Creating font object my under font my. I'm going to type fast because we are way above time. Can we go over time, guys? It's interesting. I'm not sure who else can stay longer.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean I am good. If you guys are good, I can keep on going. But I really want to complete this. It will get completed in another 20 minutes. So, and okay, so creating a text surface on which text will be drawn. Game over underscore surface my font render your score is, like I said, following the instruction from Pygame, using the Python knowledge that we acquired during this session. And once we complete this whole exercise of creating this game, I will copy paste this code. The best scenario for you guys is to practice by changing the values here and there and see what happens. Don't worry about breaking something. I would say create a copy of what I said and then copy into the Visual Studio Code and then try making changes and see what happens. What changes? Make changes to the color, make changes to the speed, and then see what happens. A rectangular object for the text. Surface object. Game underscore over underscore rect equal game underscore over underscore surface dot get underscore rect. Setting position of the text, and that's why I'm putting comments so you know where I'm doing what. So later you can make changes as you desire. Okay, game underscore over underscore rect underscore mid top equal to window underscore x divided by 2 comma window. Basically we are getting the center underscore y divided by 4. Draw text on screen. Game underscore window dot let game underscore over underscore surface game underscore over underscore rect Pygame dot display dot flip. After 2 seconds, we will quit the game. Program time the sleep 2. Okay. And then what we'll do after waiting, deactivating Pygame library. And then quitting the program. See, this is our game over function that we created. Now moving on to our step number 5. Oh, step number 6, sorry. Now we will be creating our main function that will actually do a lot of things. Basically, that will be our that will do a lot of things. So let's say that will be our main game logic. Let's put it this way. Okay. So remember, you guys all have played games. So game is something which is running and continuously running, and everything's happening inside while it's running. For example, something is moving, you are moving, the enemy is moving, while something is happening, you are doing something. So it's basically a loop which is keep on running. It's not a loop which is running certain number of times. Most of the occasions, in a game, it is a loop which is running until something happens. And such loop which runs based on keep on running based on certain condition is a loop that we covered during our session number 4, which is called while loop. Okay? So we need to make a game inside a while loop because in this game, our goal is to keep on moving the snake until it hits the boundary of the window or it hits itself. So it's a conditional loop. It's not based on like, run this 100 times or run this 400 times. So for those of you who attended that session, remember the for loop is that when we know how many times we have to run something. But here we don't know, like if the user will hit the boundary the first time or the third time or the fourth time or 10th time. So we'll be using while loop. Okay, so while true. Any questions? Handling key events. Okay. Okay. For event in Pygame dot event. So what is an event? Like events are different. For example, in general life, events are something when something happens, like Christmas, Halloween, or birthday. These are events. Uh, so in the scenario for this game, event could be when user do something. So we say in this game, when user press some key, that will be an event. Okay, so we say we are asking Pygame, which is our go-to library right now. Say, hey, if the user do some sort of key press, do something for me. So what those keys would be, our game control is key up, down, left, right, because that's how we need to control our game. So let's do this. If event dot key, is it that event dot type equal Pygame dot key down if event dot key and it's event dot key equal Pygame dot k underscore up. So remember what we did here? If you remember, we created a change to direction and we set to direction is right by default. Now we're saying, hey, capture events like whenever user press some key. So it's say whenever user press some key down means press, and then check what that key is. Like if that key is key up, like up arrow key, then change to variable value from right to up. Like right, okay. And then this is what we are doing basically. Okay, so this is what it's doing here. Up. And similarly, if even key equal. Remember the operators we read? So one is assignment operator, one is comparison operator. What's the difference? One is comparing two values between left and right. One is assigning the value on the right to the variable on the left. So keep on paying attention to the operator we are using. Operator was our fifth session number 5 or 6. I just double check that, but keep watching those sessions. Okay, so if Pygame event key is Pygame dot k underscore down, then change to equal, which is an assignment operator, down. So we will, now you probably figured it out. We are covering all the aspect, all the keys, up, down. This would be key underscore right or left. Change to left. If event dot key equal pygame dot k underscore right, then change to equal to right. Okay. We are still getting error because you will understand why, because we have not completed it yet. Once the whole loop is completed, it will go away. If two keys press simultaneously, we don't want snake to move into two directions. Anyway, you are. See, one of the first discussions we discussed that computer is one of the dumb things. It's not very smart, so it only do what you ask it to do. So here we are saying if we press up, go up. If we press down, we go down. Left, left. What if somebody press both together? So we may make sure that nobody tricks that to happen. So that's why we are putting this condition here. So what we can do is if change to equal to up and direction not equal to down, direction equal to up. Basically, we are saying if just use one of the directions. If change to equal to down and direction not equal to up, so we are making our not so smart computer a little smart. That if some smart human or smart kid try to be smart with you, just say, hey, not with me. I know what you're trying to do here. So as a computer programmer, you have to be super smart to think of all the scenario that a user or game player try to uh, do to make sure that your computer game or program will fail or stop working. And that's what we do. if change to equal right and direction not equal left, direction equal right. Now we will need to put something to move the snake. Moving the snake. If direction equal up. Remember we created a variable snake position. So snake position 1, and this is an operator that we saw, just minus equal to 10. Just if someone press up, just decrement the value of the x coordinate by 10. That's what we are doing here. And you can already see that we are using these references to our session that we covered before. It's important that we revisit those sessions. Snake position. Down, for down we have to if direction equal left, snake position, snake position 0, 10, if direction right, snake position equal, snake position 0 plus equal, plus equal 10. Okay, so this is snake position. Now we have to see snake body mechanism. We just left a little bit. Okay, moving. Okay, so we are snake body mechanism, like a snake needs to grow. Snake body growing. If fruit and snakes collide, then score will be incremented by 10. So in this section, we'll be doing this. Snake body dot insert 0, comma list snake position. If snake position 0 equal fruit position, and snake position. See, this is where we're checking if the snake position and the fruit position are matching. Increment the score. Okay. If it doesn't, then what to do? Snake body dot pop. If not fruits, some of the things you see here we have not covered in our session, um, but like I said, just keep on practicing. We can cover those in our advanced session, or we can, go over those when if you don't understand. One comma window x 10 oh 10 multiply by 10 comma random range is range 1 comma window y 10 multiply by 10. Let's go through game window will black. Okay, we're very close to run our game. Okay, so for POS or position in snake body Pygame the draw dot rec game window green Pygame dot rec position pos is basically position. X position is this. Pos or position Y is this. Oh, and 10, 10 is the like from where to where. It's basically drawing the snake. It's basically drawing a rectangle that will look like a snake. Okay. Uh, okay. So now is in Pygame the draw dot rect game window where to draw. The surface is game window. White color is the variable that we created. Pygame dot rect. Oh, it's okay. Fruit position. Fruit position 0. Comma fruit position 1, comma 10, comma 10. Okay. Now we have to put game over condition. We already wrote the function, so we will not need to put a lot of code here. Snake position 0 is less than 0 or snake position 0 is greater than window x minus 10, then call the game over function. Same for the y. If snake position 1 is less than 0 or snake position 1 is greater than window y minus 10, Game over. We already okay. Touching the snake body. For loop for lock in snake body. One column. If snake position. Zero and snake position. Game over. Almost complete. So bear with me for literally 5 more minutes and then we'll be able to run it. Hopefully no errors. Displaying a score continuously. Show score. 1 comma white comma times new. Oh, it's the parameters have to be new Roman. 20, that's the size. Refresh the game screen. Game, the display, the update, and frame per second refresh rate, FPS dot tick snake speed. That's basically the speed of the game. Okay, we covered so much code, and let's see if we still getting the error. So let's see why we're getting the error. What it's saying. We need to cover this. While true, okay. See, what was the error? I use an uppercase W where it should be a lowercase. So you have to be very careful. Okay, we removed this error. We completed this code. So this is our moment of truth. And we run it. We got some error. Group position. It says hello. So we got some error in line number 76. So let's go to line number 76. This is also part. We need to understand that how to resolve errors, okay? So we need to see that it says line number 76, what it says. There's some issue here, so we have to fix that. So what's the issue in line number 76 is make body. Okay. Fruit position equal to rand range 1 comma window underscore x in rand. Oh, it's rand range, not rand range. See, small mistake. Save. Okay, run again. Now, error, more errors. I fixed that. So is there anywhere else I use the rand range? Okay, so sometimes it just doesn't save. I removed the random range. Sometimes it just doesn't refresh. So we just do another time. We just do the code. Just restarting my session here. Just to ensure it refreshes. Okay, what it's saying? Something is giving issue. So let's do this open file. We have the same program created for demo. Okay. Let's see if this one works. And see, so this is what we just created. So I'm controlling this with my left and right and oh, and I hit the boundary. Let's try again. Okay, so you can see we created this window and this is snake. It's basically a rectangle and I'm controlling with left and right keys. And this fruit is drawn randomly as soon as I hit or eat it. This note grows up and it will keep on growing. And you see the score is getting increased. All I have to do is make sure that I don't hit either the boundary of the window or I don't hit the snake itself. And I will paste the code for the chat group. And so what you guys can do, maybe change the background color and see what happens. Let's say if I go, oh, I hit myself. See, I hit the snake body. You could do simple things like you can say uh, you change some color, maybe uh, you say blue. We created a blue. Let's see, then use make small changes and see what happens. See, and then maybe you want to make it more difficult. You change the speed. Snake speed is right now is for example, where is the snake speed? Uh, let's say snake speed somewhere. Let's say is snake underscore speed somewhere. There it is. It's 15 right now. Let's try making it, let's say 50. Let's see what happens. I'm just telling you and giving you ideas. Once I give you the code, try making changes and see what happens. Ooh, wow. It's going so fast now. Ooh, okay. So this was our session for today. And thank you for joining. What I will be doing is just giving you sending you the code. We'll send you the code and hope you enjoyed it. Please send me any question you guys have, and I have put in enough comments in here so you'll understand what's going on. And even then, if you don't understand what's going on, please feel free to reach out and ask for any questions. And this is one of the ways you can create games. This is very simple game, I know. Doesn't It's not very exciting, but it's just the first of the step in the gaming uh, world of, if you want to develop games in Python. There are many others, and I can make more games if you guys like. I can make like a Space Invader type game, if you say. I can do a session for how to create a simple Space Invader game. The spaceship's coming and you have to shoot it with a spaceship of your own. I can do that game. Maybe we can do a racing car game if you want to do that. So let me know in your comments. I'll share the code in the chat. Please, and for you, Elliot, please, if you want, install Python, Visual Studio Code, and then try this at home and let me know how it goes. All right, guys, take care. Sorry for going half hour over our scheduled time, but it was going so interesting that I kept on going. Take care, guys. Enjoy your rest of the Sunday. You guys have any questions? Let me know. Elliot, you have any questions?